I wanted to give an opportunity for everybody who wants to feel the connection of this energy. Now, what I'm doing is similar to, I guess you consider like needleless acupuncture. So, you know, being with all this energy work that I've gone through, it's connecting with the opposite of poles. Now, we think of opposite poles as good, bad, right, wrong, and you know, we see that there's contrasts, and we don't see them as one thing. So, in a Western world, we have a very, you know, most of us can have a very linear relationship because it's the way we taught in our languaging and how we have juxtapositions of things. So we're really looking for a way that will give us a marriage, and we're letting them kind of melt together. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be holding one finger out, and I'm going to be touching a part of the body that you feel pain. I'll ask you what number 0 to 10, and then you'll say what number of pain that is, and then I'll spend about maybe 30 seconds to a minute, the most. Now, the success rate's really good, and it happens quick. So I know I do a lot of energy healing work. I set people on tables, and we call it cooking, right? You just kind of let the hands and let the energy flow through, right? And this is something that is kind of nice because you do it fully clothed. You can do it standing up. You can do it in a room like this, and so it works just fine. You don't have to have it staged, right? And so the cool thing is this is part of what's called energy medicine. Now, energy medicine is as old as the hills. I mean, our ancestors, not just ancestors that we know, but our ancestors of life itself, is what they use. If there weren't doctors and you know, laboratories and things to control environments, you can use life energy around you. And so being that the language of energy is everything that's around us, I'm just tapping in to that simple language itself. So why don't we just go ahead? We'll go ahead. I'll invite anybody who wants to. Oh, cool.
Oh yeah, I'm all alive.
All right. Well,
so
thank you.
Does it work on anything that's bothering
you?
Yeah,
anything.
Or it only works on what you point at? I'll give it a 3 or 4.
3, 4. Okay. Okay. So
wow, I still feel like they're touching me, and I know you're not.
Yeah,
I
people.
Feel inside there now.
People call me Days. They say, "Can you get your hands off me?" like 4 days later, and I go, "I'm not touching anymore." So why don't you go ahead and duplicate that movement where you felt the number 4 pain and see what there is right now.
Wow. Yeah, no, I can still feel you. I can still feel you in there. That sounds awful, but
I got plugged in too much here. No, but you know, it's great. So how did it feel though? What number are you at? As far as
I mean, I feel what you put in there. That's what I feel right now. I don't feel that dull ache.
Well, all I'm doing is I'm taking a life force of energy. I'm taking the primal source of energy.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, the yin and yang. And you think about, and by the way, I had some pretty amazing experiences from meditating and doing these intensive courses. And I mean, that's a story in itself, but actually maybe this is a good time, I'll bring it in. But what happened was, right after my mother died, it was like Mother's Day occurred 2 months after, right? And I felt so depressed that I started doing all the human potential programs. I was doing Tai Chi, I was doing Qigong, I was doing healing, I was doing TM cities, and these are things you learn how to levitate. And I'm throwing all this stuff in the mix, right? And it's like, I started having some really powerful experiences that I don't know how to put to words, but I felt like I was kind of getting into the energy fields, and I was getting in touch with things that were beyond imaginative words. Also going to timeless warps. And I just, ever since then, I feel like I'm getting in touch with this primal source. Like if there's an origin to life itself, like we know, we can follow history at a certain point, but suppose we softly melt ourselves to the source. So I go to the primal, the pure yin, pure yang. I had some experiences in my life where I just felt like I got into this core of life itself, like before anything was invented, like before life was, and it was just this. And then everything just kind of like went out like this. And I was literally having all these out-of-body experiences where it's like, I can't imagine, how do you use the words what it was? But it was like I got in touch with the primal source of energy. And I go, wow, this is really kind of cool, you know? And so what happened was, I realized when I started learning more about the work and I started getting softer and easier without having any expectations, then energy just happens when you relax and having fun.
I can barely listen to you because I can't stop thinking about what's going on
well,
in
that's
my
okay.
butt.
You can just be with your experience. And you know,
it's
energy.
Really amazing.
Yeah, so energy just keeps moving, right? It just keeps happening. And it's great because there's intelligence. I woke up that primal source of intelligence in your body, And the energy is just constantly working and doing its work right now.
So you wake up my ability to connect to that primal energy, my own
your own
physical
energy.
cell's ability to connect to that energy, and you kind of place it in that spot where it starts to grow, maybe?
Growing, yeah. Well, growing. I guess you can use the word grow.
Grow?
Yeah.
Because it feels like it's growing,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
spreading, like it's...
Well, the best things can't be explained. It's like my experiences with this work in itself. I can't explain what that is. And I know it's kind of fun because you're trying to explain when you can't find the words. But, you know, the fact that something is interacting, something's happening is kind of cool. And we're looking for a change because we get so familiar with our mindset ways of how we hold and carry ourselves. And we are really working from an invent. We're really just allowing, like, suppose what if, and then let this kind of take its own natural course ways, right? So that's awesome. That's great. I love the fact that you can't find the words and you're having a hard time listening. Go ahead and have a chair. Thank you very much, bud. And just being with that energy is let the energy do the work. So it's just like letting it go, all of our benchmarks, all our reference points, just enough. And this is all multi-dimensional sense of us, you know, connecting energetically.
How do you let that go?
Well, what we just did earlier, meditation. You know, you can do sitting meditation, standing meditation, walking meditation, and soon everything just becomes meditation. And it's about how you create value for that moment. And some people call it mindful awareness, and you can, you know, there's all kinds of coined words. But I look at this, all we're doing is we're just stripping the layers of I'm here now, and not in the sense of now like a strong now and trying to think about now, but now as a soft now, like we just sort of strip the layers. And meditation is a vehicle. It is a way to allow ourselves just to kind of unfold and collapse into that state. Being with what's so, and being with the energies, that's where the power is. I'm going to go ahead and invite somebody else. Does anybody else want to, who has any, maybe even if it's not a chronic pain, maybe it's just a little nuance, like a stress point in your body, feel tension or something. You know, go ahead. Yeah, come on in. Okay, I'll put both hands here. You take a deep breath and just relax it. You know, it's kind of I'm sort of melting, taking more from instead of a point. That was more of a focus point. Now I'm kind of working a broader bandwidth energetically here. Okay, I'm just going to move the arm here from. I'm just going to change the energy flow through our arm and a connection to our shoulder. Needs a different angle of working the energy here. And just kind of let your arm just sort of flop. Let it just relax. There we go. All right.
The best thing I can say, and to me it's a release, is there's a numbness. I'm not feeling the aggravation.
So you feel a sense of peace being in your body right now.
Okay, I can say bodily peace.
You know what's interesting about peace? Well, thank you very much. You can have a seat down. Thank you for participating. Is, you know, I think about peace, you know, life sometimes feels chaotic, but sometimes you ever like want to bring on chaos, like, you know how kids are up to mischief? It's kind of cool, right? and so like when we let go of our boundaries and trying to have a control of it, it's just really fun to let things happen. And so I don't look at myself as like I'm trying to fix myself or others, or we're trying to do therapy here. I look at life as always seeking balance, and it never finds balance, but it's not broken. And a perfect example is weather. You know, and I'm not a meteorologist, but I wish I was. It's so cool to look at, you know, they talk about air pressures. You have a negative air pressure here and a positive here, and it's causing a stream to go through here, and then this is causing and pulling dampness from the ocean here, and it drops the water there, and then the microclimate offsets over here. And then when heat rises from the desert, it pulls another pressure there and takes the coastal and bring more rain from there to the tropics of there. And it's like all this stuff's going on. And if you look at the, you know, when they speed up these films of the weather, it's like it's always change. And so rather than trying to label like, oh, something's broken, something's wrong, suppose we look at everything as energy and there's this change happening. There's a whole new freedom of us inventing ourselves to like letting it go, you know. So we're just kind of being soft and innocent. So you guys are really healing yourselves, right? You're just sort of like, oh, here goes nothing, here goes everything, right? And you're just here to play.
Right,
So what pain does it number when you push down on it like that?
Do that.
Mhm.
Maybe right now it's a 3.
3,
but
okay.
Like if I'm
Yeah.
running or just going up the stairs, then I
Mhm.
have to kind of limp.
Yeah. Well, at least we got something to measure from. Okay. And see how that feels right now.
You're magic. No, true. I mean, I don't even feel that, that pain.
Oh, very good. Very
Good.
good.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, good. Maybe we'll have some takeaways. So maybe it's worthwhile coming here this morning. So,
Later when I try and do something.
so, so we have time for one more person. Did it feel? Did you feel
I
it?
can't do this normally.
No,
It's like going like, and it doesn't.
It's not doing.
No.
It's just. Oh.
Yeah, wow.
Okay.
It's much better. I
Much
don't
better?
feel anything.
What number are you at right now with it?
I think it's 0.
0. So from 6 to. You said 6 before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 6 to 0. So wow, that's great. Well, thank you very much. I just want to thank and acknowledge everybody for playing and participating. And you really run your own possibilities. You guys came here because you really are in that place. Like, I'm here, I don't know why, but I'm just to find out, right? So I just want to acknowledge you for being that open and playing and allowing that to be, right? And so I give you guys the credit. And I'm just facilitating this place. So I want you guys to own that. I want you to like charm yourselves with who you are when you take that home after we're done today, okay?